92.1 WFOV. That's my little friend, Layla Hathaway, daughter of Donnie. We've got some more Layla coming up, as well as her dad, too. Here inside the Jazz Jacuzzi for such a time as this. It's time for pushing the positive and people who make a difference. We have a local entrepreneur in the studio today. Say hello to Mr. Jonathan Ernest. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm truly blessed, sir, and how are you?
I'm blessed as well.
Speak up to the microphone, pull it forward.
Yes, thank you so very much. I'm doing very well. And how are you, sir?
I'm double blessed. Spring is on the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. But, sir, if you don't mind, before we go any further, I really need.
Closer, please.
Before we go any further, I really need to give praises to my Father God, who is most definitely the head of my life. And if I may, I'd like to give honors to my pastor, LeQuinn Williams, my bishop, and to my wife. And most of all, I want to give honors to my staff and to you for giving me the opportunity to do what we can to help the community.
Well, that's what we do. We push the positive and we spotlight people who make a difference.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ernest, you are a local entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
The name of your company is?
Flint Caskets and Memorials, formerly Royalty Memorials.
Now, I'm going to say this in a levity kind of way.
Yes, sir.
Are you slinging caskets out of the back of your trunk?
No, I'm not doing that, sir. What we're doing is that we are trying to help as many people as possible. And we're doing it by going online. We're selling them online. This way we can do it nationwide. What we're trying to do, and to be perfectly honest, is that we are not going against any funeral homes.
Mm-hmm.
What we are doing is trying to work with the funeral homes. If I can help somebody along the way, and not trying to say that if they go to a certain funeral home and if they cannot afford their prices, then they can come to me. Then we would try to help them along the way. So by no way means necessary are we trying to take anything away from the funeral homes. We're just trying to do the same thing as they are. It's just trying to survive.
Okay.
Just trying to help.
Well, walk us through the process, if you will.
Okay.
I lose a loved one.
Right. You lose a loved one and you give us a call. The first thing that I'm going to ask you is, have you given the funeral home an opportunity to help you? They will say, yes, we have, but I just can't afford the prices. Then I can assist you. Okay. Then what I would do, I would ask you, what is your loved one's favorite color? What is your loved one's favorite saying? What is your, because we're trying to give you the headstone, we're trying to give you the casket. Actually, that's how we started at first in this, was selling headstones.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to start doing afterlife transportation.
Mm-hmm.
When a person passes away, we'll go pick them up. Things have went extremely well with that. We did that roughly 8-9 years, and we still do it from time to time. If I get a personal call, then I will, but right now I'm just mostly concentrating on my caskets, my headstones, our obituaries. We're trying to do a lot more in removals was that the funeral homes will call us, and during the time that they may be busy on services after hours, we'll go do the removal. You first have to contact the funeral home.
Okay.
We are not a funeral home. We just sell caskets, headstones, and funeral supplies. On the removals, if a person passes away, they will have to call the funeral home and they would tell the funeral home that we would like to have royalty removal service officiate the removal. 9 times out of 10, the funeral home will be there, and then we would just be there to work along with the funeral home because the family requested us. A lot of times they will call us and they will not be there, so we will go to homes, hospitals, hospices. We have traveled as far as Wisconsin,
Okay.
to do removal. So it just don't make a difference. Service has no boundaries. We have to do what we have to do. One thing I do want to say to the public is this: I'm here to cause no harm. I am here to aid and assist. I understand that there are nationwide funeral homes everywhere, and I understand that there is a process to passing away, but there is also a process to saving money. When a person passes away and they leave um, an insurance policy for the next person, for their loved one, insurance has never been for the deceased. Insurance has always been for the living. After the service has been said and done, and after we have went to the cemetery, and after the families stop receiving visitors, this family still have to live.
Yes.
You still have to pay bills. You still have to get up and say, look, I gotta go on. You know, Let me tell you something. I am so glad that you opened up this for me because this is a touching subject to me. And sometimes I get emotional, and you can hear it in my voice because if you have never been through the loss of a loved one, if you have never lost a someone close to you, a dear friend, well, then you will never know. If you have never sat in a room with the directors, and while they sitting there with the calculators calculating up stuff, right now we are going on something called emotional overspending. So let me say this: this is not an attack on a funeral home because funeral homes have to survive. Please understand that funeral homes are in business to make money. They are not into business to give away free products, because if they give away free products, that's coming out their pocket. Okay, I give the highest respects to all the funeral homes who have helped families along the way, because you don't have to do it. Okay, now let me get back. Let me say this: I do what I do because I love the people. Emotional spending, emotional overspending, when our loved one passed, the sky is the limit. We do not care we do not care how much the casket costs. We don't care how many limos it is. Sometime when a loved one passes away, we will never go and see the person that we are planning a service for now. We won't go see them. We won't call them. We won't do anything. But then when they laying up in the casket, then we want to act a fool. Then we want to do this and do that. But I'm here only to say, look, we have the same caskets that the funeral home have. Our caskets, yes. Let me also let this be known. We sell domestic caskets. And what domestic caskets are caskets made overseas. Okay. Now, the only difference between the casket that I have and the casket that you will see in a funeral home is the name that's on the casket. That
Well, let me ask you this. Are your caskets 18 gauge?
18 gauge, 20 gauge wood caskets, infant caskets, baby caskets. If I put one of my caskets beside a American-made casket without any names, you would not, the general public would not be able to tell the difference. What it is that anybody will tell you that that they would, oh, I don't buy China, caskets made overseas. I don't do that. But we also sell American-made caskets too. But if you are looking, if a funeral home calls me and they say, look, I'm looking to buy 15, 20 gauge caskets for my showroom. If a funeral home is calling me and asking me that, I'm going directly to my domestic caskets. For the simple reason is that they have other casket companies that have been put in place that has been around since the beginning of time, a long time, and they have generations and generations have taken over. And the funeral homes rely upon this particular casket company. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not here to give them any advertisement.
Well, let's back up. If I heard you right, funeral homes buy their caskets from you?
No, sir. No, sir. The funeral homes here in Genesee County, some do, but mostly they buy them from this main company, and let me tell you why. So it won't divert any business. Even though I am a black business owner, and even though there may be other black funeral homes throughout Michigan or whatever, there is a, how can I say this? There is a process to this. And not to throw shade on anybody, but once I get to the position to where I can let a funeral home come in and get a casket for 30 days and then pay me in that 30 days, then I will be in the same position as these other casket companies, as these other casket companies that I can offer to. This is the only reason why the black community, the black funeral homes will not buy from me, because I cannot give it to them on consignment, because I'm just a growing funeral. I'm just a growing funeral supply company. This is why I have always pleaded, please, black-owned funeral homes throughout the United States, we also can be huge, large. We can be a conglomerate as long as we start working together and stop working against each other. The same caskets, if you was to buy, and I'm not never asking any funeral home here to buy all my caskets. Do not do that. That would drive me crazy. But throw me a bone every now and then. I'll throw you one. So, give me an opportunity to make a couple dollars at the same time as you using these other funeral homes. And then this way I can afford to give you caskets at the same price as these major funeral homes, casket companies can, and then we can all get along.
Okay, Mr. Jonathan Ernest of Flint Caskets and Memorials, what are some of the other products that you make available?
We have a young man that I work with, and he has a printing company, and his name is Hats Printing, and he does all of my obituaries for me. Now, the way that we do our obituaries, the reason why we can give them to you so cheap and so low, I hate that word cheap, so less expensive, is because we do not give you the actual obituary. We give it to you on a hard drive. This way you can go and make as many copies as you want. You can save as much money as you want. This is how we can afford to give you the comfort package or the care package, which consists of unlimited obituaries, wood or a 18 gauge casket, and a headstone. Or you can get a 20 gauge casket, a headstone, and unlimited programs. Now, these are the same programs that the funeral homes have. These are the same deals that I can give the funeral homes. Most funeral homes are consolidating. They are doing their own in-house, which is very smart. Okay, so what we have done is that we have stepped outside the box once again. Now that we know the position of the funeral homes in the Flint area, we're trying to get our game up to the point to where we can strive side by side with these national brand casket companies. We're trying to get our game up, but in the meantime, what we're doing, we're offering caskets to the general public. We have stepped outside the box again. Now we are opening our business to the general public nationwide. You can go to our website. It's a secure website. It's ran by Square, so it has to be secure. So all of our caskets and headstones are on this site. We ship nationwide. Next day air is available, but if you purchase a casket from me or a headstone from me, or if you're a funeral home, you need funeral flags, you need stretchers, body suits, whatever you need, we have. We have. And I just do, the main thing that I want is to become a household name.
What is your website? How do we get to your site?
My website is